My name is Prince Sprauve. I am the director of Fast Life, and I am from Brooklyn, New York. Maybe about 10 years ago, I moved up to Schenectady, New York. I lived with my grandmother for a while. I mean, as a young teen, I grew up in Fort Greene Projects in Brooklyn, New York, where it's pretty rough in that area. And I came up here. Basically, Schenectady is like where I started my life at, as far as like my career, my turnaround. I was a product of teenage pregnancy. My mother had me when she was only 15 years old. As a young boy, as a young man growing up without a father, my father, died 3 days after my birthday, when I was only 13 years old. That had a major effect on me. So I didn't really have any man in my life to really father me and show me what it's like to be a man or what type of person I should be. So 10 years ago, when I was about 17, 18, I was running from some problems I had in Brooklyn, and my mother sent me up here for 2 weeks. And I was only supposed to, be up here for 2 weeks. But my grandfather, he was the type, he don't like to see grown boys, kind of like sleeping around the house. So he said, well, if he's gonna be up here for 2 weeks, he has to work for 2 weeks. And from that point on, about a couple years later, I started working in the school district, because I started thinking to myself, what is it that I want to do, or what is it that I want to be? There's a difference between having a job and a career. And I wanted to figure out, like, what direction is it that I want to go? And I figured out that, I really want to work with young men and just young people, period. I want to let them know that there is a way out in spite of your situation, that you do have an avenue, you do have a choice at the end of the day. And a lot of times what you don't know, you don't do. So, I joined, I started working at Schenectady High School in 2007 when I was just 21 years old. I started a program called Revolution Studios, where I wanted kids to come and basically bring all of that negative energy and turn it into music. I don't never really remember any teachers really doing anything to help me to give me a reason to want to come to school. So I said, okay, in Schenectady High School, there's a lot of diversity. How can I help certain students stay in school and give them a reason to want to come to school? That if I don't come to school for nothing else, this is the one thing that I'm coming to school for. And that's because I want to be with Mr. Sprauve after school, making beats, composing, recording, and doing the things I love to do. But the music and stuff was just, a lot of times, I just use the music and the composing and stuff as bait, just to draw them there. So if I can catch them maybe in a 9th or 10th grade year and help try to turn their life around and help them to try to see the bigger picture, that it's not about now, it's really about later. And what you do now is going to affect you tomorrow. So how can we detour some of these kids from really going down the wrong avenue? Instead of going to another jail, they should be going on a college tour. Instead of, hustling on the corner, they should be learning how to build a resume. But how can we switch that? How can we get them to see the bigger picture? And that's what Revolution Studios did. It really helped kids see the bigger picture. Not just about music, but about life, period. Well, one day we was in the studio, and I'm always thinking of ways of how I can motivate the kids musically. So I decided to make a beat. I produced this really good beat. And I told the kids, I said, look, I pitched it to some of the artists inside of the program. And I said, I want y'all to write to this beat. I want y'all to really write to this beat and come up with a concept and everything. And Stefan Gallman, who's one of the leading actors in Fast Life, and also he's just a phenomenal rapper, he came up with the topic called Fast Life, the concept called Fast Life for the song. He actually wrote to it. He wrote the chorus, he wrote his own rhymes and everything. And I said, wow, I really like it. I really like the way the flow, the way the beat and the concept go together. Just, the mood of the beat and what he was talking about really all blended together. So I was really excited. So after we recorded the song, I said, you know what? Why don't we just shoot a music video for this? And the kids was like, yeah, Sprauve, let's shoot a music video. So we started adding a couple scenes, trying to make a little storyline for Fast Life, the music video. And the kids just kept adding scenes. Scene after scene after scene. And I was like, okay, how many scenes are we going to add? Because before you know it, it's not a music video no more. You're transforming it into a short film. And so one day, after a writing session, I remember the kids. I had about 70 students inside of the room, and they all just told me, they was like, Sprauve, you know what? Instead of just doing a cinematic music video and making a small storyline, why don't we just make a movie? I said, make a movie? They said make a movie. And I said, wow. I said, well, I never thought about it like that. And the kids convinced me at Schenectady High School, hey, Sprauve, listen, why don't you just make a movie, a full-length movie? And then 2.5 years ago, in 2010, we started making a movie. And it was very difficult because none of us had writing experience. I didn't have no writing experience at the time. I didn't really know what is it that I wanted to see as a director. I had to learn this stuff on the way. And that was another reason why the film took so long to even produce. It took over 2.5 years. Because the first year I really spent researching on how do films look, how do films feel, what is it like to shoot this, how should I shoot this, just asking all the questions. And I had some other local filmmakers of Joe Masucci and Mike Fernstein who really kind of like big brothered me through this film and really kind of took me under their wing and told me, they would come in every other day and be like, Sprauve, maybe you should do this. No, don't do that. Shoot from this angle, or maybe you'll get a better feel if you do a close-up here, and just little tactics and techniques I can do to really help create this film without, with a low budget. Because we didn't really have no money. We didn't have no money at all. I mean, the only money that we had was the money that I was putting up from my personal pocket to help, provide for any funds for the film. But after the first year, and I really had a rhythm to this thing, and I really caught a vision of what is it that I wanted to do, something clicked. Something clicked, and I said, wow, I really have a vision. And I had to lock the vision of the scenes that I wanted to see, how it was going to play out, what the roles was going to be like in more depth, the character, the storyline, the plot, everything. And I sketched it all out on my phone. I remember I spent a whole night, a couple of nights, just sitting there, just planning out each scene and what is it that I wanted to convey to the public at the end. And in 1 year, the second year, I actually shot almost about 1.5 hours of the movie in 1 year. And we shot very aggressively. I mean, there's over 130 students involved in the film. There's over 15 teachers and employees as Schenectady School District employees involved in the movie. There's over 20 different parents from the community that's involved, and over 12 organizations that help contribute to the movie being created. And the hardest part about shooting Fast Life was 2 things. One, we didn't always have the proper equipment. The movie was only shot with 4 pieces of equipment. It was shot with an HVX Panasonic. I had a tripod, I had 1 boom mic, and I had 1 field light. But the field light I had wasn't even really used for film, it's really used for photography. So we didn't really always have a lot of the resources that we needed to pull off certain scenes, to pull off the mood and everything else. So we really just had to improvise with what we had. And then another part that was hard was that nobody was paid in the movie. So a lot of times when we shot scenes, people would get impatient. People wouldn't really have the tolerance level that I'd had as the director, because I had the passion for it. I loved shooting film. I knew from the time that I picked up the camera and shot the very first scene for Fast Life at Vale Cemetery, I knew from that very point that film is what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do. I know it, because when I'm doing this, it's like I'm just at peace. Nothing bothers me. I'm okay. Well, the message that I'm trying to send through this movie is an awareness message. A lot of times you get people who really don't know anything about Schenectady or even the school district, and they automatically think that the school is a very bad school, and that's not the case. We have some of the best programs at this school. I mean, the fine arts wing is like phenomenal. I mean, kids can get into orchestra, they can get into acting, they have some of the best plays there. They can come to the studio and record, they have piano, they have serenaders, they have a program where kids can earn 20 college credits before they even get to college. I mean, there's so many extensive programs that Schenectady School District has to offer. It's just that nobody knows. And I think that as a district, we're stereotyped because of the type of students and the culture that resides at Schenectady School District. So for me, this message that we're trying to send is not a Schenectady thing. It's a national thing. It's going on everywhere, in suburban areas, urban areas. I mean, we have one character in the movie where Nyasia, which her character name is Asia, where she's being molested by her father. Now, whether you have money or not, that's going on all over the world. There are young females that is going through this all over the world. But again, nobody knows about it. And if we do know about it, like, what are we doing to prevent this type of stuff? So this movie is not just about to say that, oh, Schenectady School District made a movie. It's an awareness movie. It's an accountability movie. There is a difference between hearing something and seeing something. If I was in a car accident and I saw this particular car get into an accident, it would be different from me being the person that was inside of the vehicle. So there's a different type of impact that happens. So this movie is to say, look, if you can drive by every single day in our neighborhoods and see what's going on, see the damage, and see how certain people are hurting our community and not do nothing to try to help change it, then we are just as guilty as the people that's making our neighborhoods bad. If all we have to say is just point the finger at every little thing that is bad about Schenectady or is bad about this certain type of area, then you know what? What is that? That's only a reflection of the type of person we really are. That we're selfish, we're greedy, and we're not out to help nobody else but ourselves. I don't think we need to focus on whether or not it's suburban or urban. I think we need to focus on just our kids as a whole. And then I think we need to be more supportive to one another as school districts. Because a lot of times you get school districts because they're not in the limelight. Oh, you're the bad district, I'm the good district. I don't think it's a matter of who's the bad or good, but I think if we can develop the mindset of getting into the habit of helping one another. What is it that I can do as a district to make your district better? Or what is it I can do as a person to make you better as a person? See, this movie started from just one idea, but it would not have been created if the people didn't unify. The whole Schenectady unified themselves to come together and say, we believe in this film, we want to make it, and they did it for no money. Nobody was paid inside of the movie. So what is that telling you? What could happen? Anything can happen when you start getting, when you get people to come together. And I think that's what this movie is about. It's not a parent thing. It's not a school district thing. It's a community thing. It takes a village to raise a child. And if we don't do something to help our youth really succeed, then what is our future going to look like as a country? The children really is our future. They really are our future. So how we prepping them and how we preparing every student, no matter race, status, religion, color, nationality, the whole 9 yards, no matter what their background is like, how we prepping our students for our future? Are we setting them up for failure? Or are we giving them the tools for them to succeed and really break down barriers that we faced over 60 years ago? I would like to take this time just to say thank you for purchasing the DVD and supporting our students at Schenectady High School. Please be sure to visit our website at rsfastlife.com, or you can check out our Facebook fan page, Fast Life. And if you're interested in working with us, please email me at sprauve@schenectady.k12.ny.us. Until next time, let's keep our kids out the fast life because they do deserve better.